Do you work well under pressure? I enjoy working under pressure because I believe it helps me grow. In my previous experience, I always worked well during deadlines, and I always learned how to work more efficiently afterwards.
How do you manage having so many things to do, such as work, family, and school? I'm very organized and I plan everything I do. This helps me to easily find a balance between family and work.
Do you work well under pressure? I work well under pressure because I don't panic. I maintain self-control and work as efficiently as possible. In all my experiences, I did well and I always enjoyed the experience.
What are you looking to gain from your next job? In my next job, I want more opportunities to write automation. In my previous position, we didn't have these opportunities because we outsourced this work to other groups. Why do you like sales? I like sales because it fits my personality. I enjoy working with all sorts of people, and I like to provide great customer service by answering questions about products professionally. How long have you been looking for a job? I've been looking for about a month now. Because of the slow economy, it's taking a little longer than I expected, but I'm confident that I can be a valuable asset to any company.
Why should I hire you? I should be hired because I'm efficient, smart, and friendly. I'm great at solving problems and love challenges. Most importantly, I'm dependable and reliable.
What's the most recent book you read? I have a strong interest in World War II, so I was reading a book about Hitler. It's quite interesting to see how he grew up and what led him to his hatred towards the Jews. Tell me about a time you failed to complete an assignment on time. I feel I should have been more firm with the 3 additional days I requested. I like to meet difficult deadlines, but I knew the additional work was too large to finish on time. What do you expect from your manager? I expect my manager to provide work that is relevant to both the company and my growth. My manager should know my strengths and also help me work on my weaknesses.
If you could change one thing about your personality, what would it be and why? I have high expectations, and I have these expectations on others. I think if I was more understanding, I could help other workers improve instead of being disappointed.
If you could start your career over again, what would you do differently? I didn't know how much I liked working with computers until I finished college. If I had known earlier, I would have liked to have worked with computers earlier in my career. What do you do when you feel burnt out? I usually use the weekends to engage in my personal hobbies to prevent me from burning out. I like to play tennis and golf, and these activities keep me mentally energized to work hard in the office.
How do you handle change? I'm good at dealing with change because I'm flexible with my work and abilities. I'm not afraid of learning new and difficult things. Whenever I'm faced with a change, I'll put in extra effort to make the change a smooth transition.
Why do you want to leave your current job? Our family moved to live near a better school district for our children. This area is great, and I want to find a job closer to my new home. My previous job was too far away to commute. Where did you tell your boss you were going? I wasn't really required to tell my boss because I used one of my vacation days to be here. I'm really excited to have this interview opportunity, and using a vacation day was very well worth it.
Are you an organized person? I'm a very organized person. I like to know exactly what I'm going to do for the day and the week, so I outline my tasks and organize my workload. By doing so, I can organize my time and work better.
Would you like to have your boss's job? When I gain a little more experience, I'll be looking to find a position that is similar to my manager's job. But for now, I want to continue to learn as an employee while helping the company grow. What do you expect from your manager? The most important thing I want from my manager is constructive feedback so I know where I need to improve. I want to continually grow, and having a good manager will help me achieve my goal.
What are your short-term goals? As a program manager, it's important to understand all areas of the project. Although I have the technical abilities to be successful in my job, I want to learn different software applications that might help in work efficiency.
If you were unfairly criticized, what would you do? I would probably ask for clarity on the criticism. I think it's important to accept criticism for self-improvement, but if it's unfair, then I will clear things up by asking for clarity. What kind of salary are you looking for? I know that the average pay for this position is roughly around $45,000, but because I have a couple years more experience, I would want something around $48,000 to $50,000.
What are your weaknesses? I feel my weakness is not being detail-oriented enough. I'm a person that wants to accomplish as much as possible. I realize this hurts the quality, and I'm currently working on finding a balance between quantity and quality.
Why did you choose your major? I majored in English because it was a major that would make me more skilled in reading, writing, and communicating. I believe English is a tool that is used everywhere, so I thought it was the best major for me. What did you hear about us? I heard ABC Company has a great work environment and a place where strong contributors are rewarded. I want to work for a company with opportunities, and I know ABC Company provides these things. Have you managed people in any of the positions you've held?
Yes. I have 1 year experience in managing 3 people. I distributed work to each member of my team, providing assistance and guidance, and mentored each employee to be a better employee.
How long have you been looking for a job? I've been out of work for a year, but I've only been looking for a job for about 3 weeks now. My mother had cancer, and I wanted to spend the final months with her. She passed away, and I can start working again. What have you heard about our company that you didn't like? I read up on this company thoroughly, and even spoke with a friend who works here. I didn't hear anything negative about ABC Company. Is there something I should know before working here? What do you do when you feel burnt out? When I feel burnt out, I go to the gym and work out. This actually helps me because it moves the focus from my mind to my body. After a good workout, I really feel mentally rejuvenated. What do you do when there are too many things to do? I really like it when there is so much work. I am a fast and efficient worker, and I like taking challenges that are big. With proper planning and execution, I've always managed to complete all my tasks.
Are you an organized person? Organization has always come easy to me. I naturally organize things like my desk, time, assignments, and work without thinking about them. This helps me tremendously during times when I'm approaching a deadline.
How do you handle conflict? Whenever I'm confronted with a conflict, I always follow a simple process. I think about what the current conflict is, think of several ways I can deal with this conflict, and then take the best action after my analysis. Do you see that stapler? Convince me to buy it. This stapler has the best value. With a 15% lower sticker price, it provides identical functionality with the more expensive brands. It's durable and staples through more paper than the other brands. How do you get along with your superiors? I've had my share of great managers and mediocre managers, but I've always gotten along with all of them very well. I've rarely had conflicts with them, and if there was an issue, I always talked it over with them. What course did you like the least? I didn't enjoy history that much. It wasn't that difficult, but it didn't allow me to think creatively. Most of the classes I took were about memorizing dates and facts, so history is my least favorite subject. How do you intend to learn what you need to know to perform well for this job? I have experience in this area, so I won't need much training. However, I know different companies have different ways of doing things, so I'll learn company policies and methods quickly to apply my existing knowledge to do a good job. If you were unfairly criticized, what would you do? When I'm unfairly criticized, I usually think about the criticism and try and view it from a different angle. If I still can't see why I was criticized, then I will approach the person and initiate a dialogue to resolve the unfair criticism. What do you do when there are too many things to do? I usually plan, organize, prioritize, and then work real hard. I always keep my cool and work on one item after another. I found that this is efficient instead of worrying about how much work there is to do. What do you do when there are too many things to do? I regain my composure, take a deep breath, and work diligently. If there is a chance that I might not finish something due to the size of the work item, I'll inform my manager and make sure my manager is aware of my situation.
What could you have done to improve your relationship with a manager you didn't like? I feel I should be more understanding of different work styles. I didn't like my manager not communicating enough, but that didn't mean we couldn't approach him. So I'm learning to work seamlessly with different types of people. If you don't understand your assignment and you can't reach your boss, what would you do? There are many places I can look for clarity. I would look through some books, or the internet, or my peers, or even other managers. If I try to look for answers, most of the time I can find them. What do you do when you have a problem with a coworker? If I have a problem, I try to approach my coworker and let them know as professionally as possible. If I'm the one with the problem, I'll politely ask what I can do to improve the relationship. I found that proper communication solves many problems. What do you do when there's no work to do? I always try to be productive even if there isn't much work to do. I use my time to find areas of improvement within the office, take time to study new things that will help me on future projects, and volunteer to help other coworkers that might have too much work. What is your management philosophy? My management philosophy is to provide an environment that leads to productive employees. I achieve this through conflict management, keeping the morale high, providing encouragement to low performers, and also rewarding the strong performers. Tell me about the worst manager you ever had. In my last position, I had a manager who didn't like to give instructions. I managed to figure a lot of it out, but I would have saved a lot of time if my manager gave a simple 5-minute overview on the project. What do you do when you have a problem with the direct? In this situation, I believe communication is very important. I'll usually have a meeting with my direct on the problems I have. It's easier to work on a problem together when everyone involved is aware, so I always communicate the problems that I see. What do you know about our product? I hear this group has several functions. It has an incubation team that grows new ideas, and if the product has potential, a new product is formed. I also hear this group creates solutions for companies to entice them to buy more Microsoft products. How do you make important decisions? Important decisions are made by knowledge through information and wisdom through experience. I'll gather all the information I can find and then apply my experience while analyzing the information. With this combination, I'm confident I'll make the correct important decisions. If you were unfairly criticized, what would you do? I usually use all criticism to help me grow. If I was criticized unfairly, there must be a little truth to it. I will learn as much as I can from it, but if it was really out of line, I would definitely approach the person and ask for clarity. What types of people do you have trouble getting along with? I'm very understanding of different people and different work styles, but I have a hard time with people who only do work that is seen by management. There's so much work that needs to be done, and not everything is seen by the manager, so I get upset when work is neglected. Why haven't you received any offers so far? Most of the jobs I've been applying for require more experience than I have. Also, because the job market is rough right now, the competition has been really tough. But I plan on self-studying continually, and I know through my diligence that I will get a job soon. What are your short-term goals? My short-term goal is to learn everything I can about marketing. I want to find a position where I can contribute what I've learned through education and to gain real-life experience. I believe the next couple of years will be very important to me. My immediate goal is to learn and become skilled in all aspects of marketing. Do you want to work for a small or large company, and why? I want to work for a small company because I feel I'll have more opportunities to gain valuable experience. I know some friends in large companies, and they have specific roles that limit what they're capable of doing. I'm hoping that a small company will have more variety and challenges for each employee.
If you're told to do something that you feel is illegal, what would you do? I wouldn't jump to any conclusions. I would rather question my manager to verify if it is legal or not. If I'm not convinced through facts, then I would investigate through other means. If I find it is illegal, I would not continue with the work and inform human resources of this incident. What do you expect from your manager? I expect my manager to be a smart person who works hard. If my manager is setting a positive example, I believe I'll be more encouraged to work harder. Having a manager that bosses people around without doing any work is very discouraging, so I expect my manager to lead by example. If everyone on the team is a veteran, what will you do to fit in and be a beneficial team member instead of a person who appears to be in training? In this situation, I'll have to ramp up quickly and study notes from previous meetings before attending any. I'll also do a lot of studying to catch up so I can participate in discussions instead of appearing to be in training. If you don't understand your assignment and you can't reach your boss, what would you do? I would first see what the deadline is and if my manager will be back before the deadline. If not, then I would leave a message on my manager's phone. Afterwards, I would ask my peers or other managers to see if they know the assignment. I believe investigating the assignment further will help me understand it. Give me a specific example at your last position where you made things more efficient. We provide many different brochures for our clients, and when we get low on a specific brochure, we have to order each separately. I created a small tool that automates this process and saved about 30 minutes of work each time we ordered brochures. It was something small, but my manager appreciated it. If your supervisor tells you to do something that you believe can be done in a different way, what would you do? I'll suggest a different method and ask my supervisor if I can do this work the new way. If the result will be the same, but would potentially save more time, then I believe my manager will allow it. However, if my manager wants it done a certain way for other reasons, I will follow his or her instructions. Tell me about a time you had a big disagreement with your boss. What did you do, and what was the outcome? I never really had a big disagreement with my manager. The only thing I can think of was when I recently got back from a business trip. My manager told me I had to go on another one the very next day. In my previous company, it wasn't common to send someone on a business trip immediately, but another employee got sick, so I had to fill in. If you're happy with your current job, why do you want to leave? I've been with my previous group for more than 3 years. I was doing the same thing on a regular basis. Although we received different projects from time to time, it was very similar to my previous work, so I had a desire to gain new experiences and learn from different products. I believe having a variety of experience is good for my career, so I made the decision to leave my current job. How do you explain the fact that you frequently change jobs? I see that you haven't stayed with a company for more than 2 years. I planned on staying with my current job for a longer time period, but when this position opened up, I really wanted to apply because this company has everything I need. So even though I change job frequently, I'm certain that I love this industry and that this is a great company to work for. I plan on staying a long time. What do you feel an employer owes an employee? I have a lot of expectations from my employer. Financial compensation is a given, but there are other things I expect. I feel an employer should provide a good work environment, opportunities for growth, reward and recognition for excellence, and guidance in career development. I know I'll be giving everything I can to help my employer succeed, and in return, these are some of the expectations I have. Why should I hire you? The reason I applied for this position is because the qualification matched my strengths perfectly. I'm good at juggling multiple tasks, I'm very detail-oriented, and I organize my time very efficiently. But the truth is that many people have these traits. But if I were in your position, I would hire myself because of the passion I have for this industry and my optimistic personality. My education background and my strengths show that I can do this job. But I want to make more of an impact than just doing my job. I don't want to blend in with the company. I would rather want my addition to improve it. What does success mean to you? Success to me means completing a task, and when looking back, thinking I couldn't have done it better.
To succeed is to complete a task or assignment on time in an excellent manner, but that's only half of it. The results should be good, and the people involved should gain a valuable lesson or experience. For example, if it was a group project and only 2 people out of 4 really did the work, I wouldn't call that success. If everyone participated and worked together, providing a valuable deliverable, then it's a success. So I think both the result and the process should be great to call something a success.
If everyone on the team is a veteran, what will you do to fit in and be a beneficial team member instead of a person who appears to be in training? Even if everyone is a veteran, I feel I can fit right in. I would prepare as much as I can by reading existing material to catch up on a project. I would plan for meetings by making a list of questions I have and finding the answer to these questions before the meeting. I would also create a list of ideas through the documents I had read. A fresh mind could help with creative solutions. I know that I would be required to study a lot in the beginning, but I would be able to do so at home or by working late in the office. Why are you applying for a job that you didn't major in? I enjoyed majoring in psychology, but I didn't want to become a psychologist. I just found the subject to be very interesting. It also helped me to understand a wide variety of things. For my career, I wanted to be doing something I was good at and what I enjoyed doing. I had an opportunity to work at a smaller logistics company as an administrative assistant. During that time period, they were short-handed, and I actually got to do some planning and organizing for one of the smaller clients. I didn't lead anything, but I realized how much I enjoyed the work. Ever since then, I have been studying up on planning, logistics, and business. If you were unfairly criticized, what would you do? If I was unfairly criticized in private, then I would initiate dialogue, asking why he or she thought this way. I would try to understand their point of view and explain my point of view. If I was unfairly criticized in public, then I would be a little upset, but I would wait to address the problem until the person criticizing me was alone. I would do this because if I'm upset, I wouldn't want to start an argument without thinking. So after some time, I would approach the person and ask him or her why I was criticized. If it was justified, then I would use that as constructive criticism to improve myself. If not, then I would tell that person that it isn't good to publicly criticize someone when they are not sure if it is correct. Tell me about a time you went over budget. There was a project that had a strict 4-month deadline. I didn't have enough employees to complete the task, so I had to hire temporary workers. I was given a budget to either hire 3 extra heads for 4 months or to hire 4 extra heads for 3 months. Because of the importance of the project and the strict deadline, I chose to hire 4 temporary workers for 3 months to give us a time cushion at the end. We had a couple of unexpected obstacles, and it turned out that we needed the temporary workers for another 2 weeks. We completed the project on time, and everything turned out well, but in this instance, I went over budget by 5%. Due to the importance of this project, I didn't want to risk slipping the date. Even though everyone was congratulating me on this accomplishment, I feel I could have done better if I calculated a cushion for unexpected obstacles. Do you have any outside income?
I have a rental property.
Do you have any outside income?
No, I do not.
Are you able to make frequent business trips?
I don't have any problems with traveling. What does failure mean to you? To me, failure means to have a goal and not do anything about it. Do you work well under pressure? I work well under pressure because I use the pressure to help me work more efficiently. What does success mean to you? Success to me is knowing that my contributions positively impacted my company. What are your strengths? I've always been a great team player. I'm good at keeping a team together and producing quality work in a team environment.
What do you do to stay in shape? I work out at a gym a couple times a week. I like to stay active. Do you own or rent your home? I'm currently renting, but I plan on buying my own place next year. Why haven't you received any offers so far? I just started interviewing this past week, so it's a little too early to tell. How would your best friend describe you? My best friend would probably say that I'm warm, friendly, and understanding. How would your professor describe you? I think my professor would describe me as a great team member and consistent in my schoolwork.
How do you make important decisions? I make important decisions by examining all the details and then weighing the pros and cons for each decision.
What do you like to do when you're not in the office? When I'm not in the office, I like to play golf, read magazines, and spend time with my wife.
Tell me a little about yourself. I attended MIT where I majored in electrical engineering. My hobbies include basketball, reading novels, and hiking. What are your long-term goals? I would like to become a director or higher. This might be a little ambitious, but I know I'm smart and I'm willing to work hard.
May I contact your references? Sure. After the interview, I can email or fax you a list of references. Will that be okay? Is there anything else I should know? I don't know if I expressed it that well, but I'm very excited about this position. I'm confident that I can do very well here. What course did you like the most? My favorite subject was applied science. I really enjoyed learning different ways of applying science into ordinary things. Do you have any physical problems that may limit your ability to perform this job? No. I believe I'll be able to physically perform all tasks for this position.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? My goal is to become a lead in 5 years. Although not everyone gets promoted to this level, I believe I can achieve this goal through hard work. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? In 5 years, I see myself as a valued employee of a company. I want to be an expert at my position and start training to be a manager.
How would your best friend describe you? Oh, let's see. I think my best friend would describe me as honest, detailed, and very organized. If you redo college again, what would you major in? I would like to have majored in engineering. I have a strong interest in hardware, so I believe engineering would have helped.
What are your long-term goals? I've always loved to teach. I like to grow newer employees and help coworkers wherever I can. So in the future, I would love to be an instructor.
Did you have any trouble finding this place? A little bit. I didn't realize that there was another building back here, so I drove by a couple times. But that's okay. I eventually found it.
Do you manage your time well? I'm good at managing my time. I stay busy both at home and at work, and being able to manage my time is necessary for me to do everything that I want to do. What are your short-term goals? I've learned the basics of marketing during my first 2 years. I want to take the next step by taking on challenging projects. My short-term goal is to grow as a marketing analyst.
What course did you like the least? My least favorite class was probably poetry. During that course, I struggled writing a real poem. I realized I am not a poet. If you redo college again, what would you major in? I would choose to major in marketing in the business school. I really enjoy this type of work, and having more background would have helped me to excel more.
Are you a risk taker, or do you like to stay away from risks? I consider myself to be in the middle, but if I were to choose from my past experience, I would think I would call myself a careful risk taker.
How would your best friend describe you? I think my best friend would say that I'm very responsible. Whenever our group of friends had to coordinate an activity, they always relied on me. How long have you been looking for a job? It's been about 2 months now. I wasn't as aggressive in the beginning because I was taking some classes, but now that I'm done with class, I'm really trying now. If you redo college again, what would you major in? I like the fact that I completed my degree in English, but if I could redo college again, I would like to double major in English and business. How would your professor describe you? My professor always told me that I was very creative. He liked my papers because it showed that I really thought about the problem and tackled it in a different way. Why haven't you received any offers so far? I received one offer from a smaller company, but I want to see what else is out there. I like what this company has to offer, so I'm hoping everything turns out well today. What do you feel an employer owes an employee? I believe an employer should provide an environment where everyone can succeed. I also believe that opportunities for growth and advancement should be provided by the employer.